Holy crap.
In 2000, while I was out hiking in the coulees of southern Alberta, I ran across this prairie rattlesnake and it scared the crap out of me. Just 8 months prior to running into this snake, I had undergone cancer treatments and the pandemic was already full swing. And I was in the middle of teaching school, making videos to show to my class.
For this Wireless Wednesday, I wanted to discover this for myself. Using the concept of...
One of the things that jumped onto my radar at that time was Mike Stinnett's videos from his YouTube channel. I had already started making some videos about diamond willows and finding diamond willows, but Mike's channel, and especially the way that Mike is, his personality, his charm, his love of nature, and of course, his love of carving just really helped me to heal from a lot of the crap that I was dealing with at the time. Fast forward to now, I no longer teach full-time. I'm self-employed as a videographer, and I need to be busy. I need to be working hard at something. And when I don't have videos to make, I find myself wanting to go back to carving. So I've realized that he has a book out. He has a whole tutorial series on his website. I thought, I'm going to give this a shot and see if I can pull this off. One thing led to another. I bought the book, and this is my attempt at carving a Mike Stinnett stick. Here we go. I ended up buying a post from the lumber store, just a straight spruce post. I did have a poplar. You can see one of the branches there that I stripped the bark off of it, but it's going to be at least a year before it's ready. And so I decided to take this one on. Now, this is about as dumb as I can get. I know people are going to watch this and just cringe at me doing this with a Sawzall. But I like to do things quickly, so I found the easiest and quickest solution. Use a Sawzall. I didn't have to pull out my circular saw. I don't have a bench to put it on to keep it steady, at least not yet. But it got the job done in a short amount of time. Super rough. Rather than carving it or trying to use an axe or anything like that, I just thought I would just get this over with. All right, so this demonstrates just how little I actually read the book. I loved the ideas in the book and I was interested, but I was raring to go. So I thought, you know what? I'll just start drawing. I'll just start putting it onto the board. Just get things moving along. This is one of my major flaws. I want to say I really like Mike's suggestions, and I can hear his voice in the writing. I really enjoyed the book. So I plot out my snake, and I used the same design that Mike suggests, or the one that he has on his first stick. So it's not like I didn't read the book. Once I had that ready to go, this is where things get crazy. So I have my Dremel with, basically it's a grinder wheel that I'm using to cut right now. That's where all the smoke's coming from. I'm using a grinder wheel. I didn't have all the tools that Mike had, so I just used what I had, and I knew something was wrong. I ended up doing quite a bit of cutting here with this tool. I am wearing glasses, which is a good thing, but I knew that there was probably something wrong. So I started doing a little bit of research to find the right tool. I also didn't look closely enough at Mike's book. I see that I should be cutting these lines the other direction. So I don't know. I just kind of made this part up. Luckily, I didn't get hurt or injured doing this, but it was more work than I needed to do. Certainly with that smoking coming out of it. And then, of course, I decided I would use a hammer and a chisel to take these blocks out. Once again, didn't look at the book for advice, just thought this will do it. I'm amazed I didn't stab myself with this chisel. All right, next day, I finally wised up and got a proper wood cutting disc for the Dremel. It makes such a difference. And of course, I read the book a little bit to see, oh, you don't need to cut vertical lines. I just have to cut around, do circles around the base. Massive difference in cutting. No smoke, cuts nice and deep. Having the right tool for the job always goes a long way. Very satisfying cutting like this. Actually, I found this to be the most enjoyable part of the job. I also decided I'd get a mallet. I didn't fully go all the way and I didn't look at all the details. I just thought, a rubber mallet would probably be a better thing than a clanging hammer. Chisel's not the worst idea. The big problem with it is it can take off a lot more than you want it to. And I'm surprised I didn't gouge out the sides of my snake pattern with this chisel. The chisel does come in handy for removing ones that are harder to get with the screwdriver. Eventually I wise up here and use the screwdriver. But I wouldn't recommend it as the only tool. I would do the screwdriver first, like I am about to do here. Just insert it into your cuts and just lift. Pops them off very easily. Again, this is satisfying. Even watching this over again is satisfying to watch. And you can see those bigger blocks there that are hard to get with the screwdriver. Those will come off nicely with the chisel. Now at this point, I didn't have the right tools. I didn't have a proper rasp. I had this one here, which was all that Home Depot had. And it's not bad. It helped me to shape the snake a little bit more. It helps a little with the rough edges, but I just found, to really trim it down to the size I needed a better tool, and I didn't have it. So I used the chisel to just finish up and clean up my extras that I'd left. And this kind of skips a bit. I had used these, what did I use on this? I think I used a belt sander a little bit to clean it up. I put a sanding bit on the Dremel, and that's what I'm using here to clean up some of the rough edges. My dog Kaya is wondering when I'm going to come play with her. The belt sander is great. I've still got more depth to fix up here, but between the belt sander and the Dremel bit, or the sanding bit, yeah, it works really well. Use that cutting bit to clean up some of my corners and edges before I get ready to sand down the stick. Still a bit thick for my liking. I'm going to use the belt sander, and I've got better rasps that have arrived. I'll use that in an upcoming video to clean up the edges So one thing I want to say as I'm watching all this, I love this. I'm addicted, man. This is one of the best activities to pass time. And it's not about just passing time. It's about enjoying just doing something. It really is fulfilling. I love this feeling of creating something out of a piece of wood. It's very satisfying. Well, it's not quite ready for starting to carve the snake. But man, oh man, am I loving how this is looking. Quick peek at the progress that I've made. Still waiting for that attachment for my angle grinder. I think once I've got that, I can start reducing the size and the thickness of the stick itself. And then I can get to sanding it, getting it just right for like size. And then I can start working on the snake. Super excited. So that'll be an upcoming video. Until then, see ya.